5 essential tips to support mental health after harassment and abuse. Cases of harassment and abuse continue to rise with every breaking dawn. Abuse may take different forms, from sexual to physical, emotional, and many more types. This may occur at the workplace, home, or other settings. Associated mental effects of abuse. The sad thing about abuse and harassment is that it takes a toll on the victim. Most victims end up with consequent psychological problems such as depression, feeling of worthlessness, anxiety, extreme fears of guilt, and so forth. These feelings can lead them down a rabbit hole, and if left unchecked, they may end up with suicidal thoughts. So, to prevent this, here are 5 essential tips to support your mental health after incidents of abuse and harassment. 1. Go through training. A training exercise is most useful in a job setting where sexual harassment cases prevail. If you fall victim to such an incident, you may undergo training to learn to prevent sexual harassment in the workplace. This training program will be carried out online and will take little from your working time. You will conclude with an exam and afterward get a certificate of completion. You familiarize yourself with channels of reporting any incident that transpires for you or any of your colleagues. Thus, through the training exercise, you will be significantly preventing many future abuse or harassment incidents in your workplace. In turn, you will get closure and protect your mind from trauma that you would have otherwise experienced and a similar ordeal reoccurred. To accept what happened. As a natural human instinct, your brain tends to shove traumatic experiences to the side to escape the reality of the actual happening. However, ignoring your problems causes them to accumulate, and in the future, this can end up being disastrous. For this reason, you should boost your mental health by accepting that you are an abuse victim, despite how difficult this may be. After all, acceptance is the first step to recovery. By admitting what you went through, you would be taking the bull by the horns. You would bring the feeling to the surface, and this will help you formulate a strategy to deal with the underlying negative emotions. 3. Don't blame yourself. Self-blame only slows your healing process as thoughts of shame and fault keep on looming over your mind. Accordingly, always remember that the events that transpired aren't your fault. The guilty party in this incident is the perpetrator and you're the victim. You didn't have control over what they did. However, you can control what happens next by taking the necessary steps to recover from the traumatic experience. Shun all the self-reproaching thoughts you may be experiencing to protect your mental health and ultimately heal faster. 4. Talk to someone. As mentioned earlier, abuse of any kind can have an immense impact on your emotional well-being. In most sexual harassment cases, victims tend to shy away from talking about the ordeals in the topic is commonly associated with shame, as the topic is commonly associated with shame, and this only worsens the situations as they end up with depression, lowered self-esteem, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other psychological traumas. It's said that a problem shared is a problem half solved. For this reason, you should talk to someone about your experience. You may seek counseling services from a professional psychologist, approach a trusted friend or family member, or join a support group. Even when you think you are strong enough to deal with the effects of abuse, talk to someone anyway. This will bring you more relief and you will eventually gain some closure. 5. Use your experience to help others. Believe that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You can bring value from your experience by offering advice to people who have been in a situation like yours. You could write blogs, build websites for abuse and harassment victims where you will share knowledge on how to handle and overcome such incidences. You may also volunteer in community support groups for victims of abuse. By sharing advice, you'll bring yourself peace of mind and build your resiliency. Conclusion. Harassment or abuse of any kind may have severe consequences to your psychological well-being if left unchecked. For this reason, you should employ measures to support your mental wellness after an abusive event. You should accept the happening of the terrible incident, go through training, share your feelings with a trusted person, avoid criticizing yourself, and use your experience to help others in similar situations. Ultimately, you'll gain closure from the difficulty, boost your resilience, and protect your mental health and general welfare.